everybody, welcome back to my top 50 board games list of all time. Well, just to clear it again, it is my top 50 board games that I like at this moment in time the best, so the games that I really like to play the most at this time. And we are in part 3, that means we are going to go from 30 to number 21. So, without further ado, let's see which games are in this list. My number 30 is a game that I have been wanting to have in my collection for quite a while, and somehow I didn't find it in any stores, but a few weeks ago my local gaming store had it standing there, one copy of it, and I immediately bought it, of course. And I'm talking about Biblios. Now, Biblios is this small game by Steve Finn, in which you play as monks who are writing down scripts or whatever. The team isn't really strong in this game, not really important. The game mechanics are the important thing in this game, which plays in two parts. In the first part, you are going to draft, draft some cards, meaning the player whose turn it is, he will draw a card, and he has to choose whether to keep the card for himself, to put it in the middle, so the other players will have a choice to take those cards, or put it face down in another pile, which is used in the second round, because those cards that are being set aside are going to be auctioned and have to be paid for with the cards that you drafted in the first half of the game. Now, depending on the cards you take, you can medicate dice of certain colors, of which there are also cards in the game, and if you have the most value in your hand of a certain color, you get the points of the die in that color. Really interesting game, really fun with two players, also with more. Really nice little game, filler game, plays really fast, and I really like this game. It's Biblios, my number 30. My number 29 is a game which, well, it was 23 last year, so it only dropped 6 places, which isn't that much, because of all the new games in this list. And it's a game that, well, that's a little bit under the radar for its gameplay, but certainly got its attention for the artwork. And also I was concerned about it, because people thought it would not be a good game, but only focused on the awesome artwork, which is really awesome. But the game is great as well. I really like this game, and I'm talking about Abyss, of course. Abyss with this lovely artwork, as you can see on this box. Now, there are different kinds of boxes with different artwork. I had to pick one. We like purple in this house, so we took this one, but the content is all the same. Now, in Abyss, you are, well, these royal families or whatever, and you're trying to get support from all these underwater lords from different factions, and you do this by doing some set collections and, well, getting those lords with you by paying with certain sets of cards. And, well, that's really the base of the game, but it's really interesting because these lords have different powers which you can use. But you also can collect lords with keys, and if you have 3 keys you get a location, but that location is worth more points at the end of the game, but you lose the special ability of the lords you paid for this location with. Really interesting gameplay. The game looks completely awesome because the artwork is great. It comes with little pearls as well as currency. Sometimes a little bit difficult because the pearls can fly all over the place and you can lose them. I didn't lose any one of them, but I'm afraid it is. There is an expansion that recently got released. The Kraken expansion. I didn't buy it yet because it was already sold out at my store, but as soon as I can get my hands on a copy, I will buy them. It comes with black pearls, with some dark stuff in it, which you can pay with, but then you get black pearls, which are, well, negative points, if I'm not mistaken. But this game, the base game of the Abyss, really great game, and without a doubt very much deserves to be my number 29. Abyss. My number 28 is one of the few games that raised in my list, so it got higher than last year and it's at 28, so it came from 36, so 8 places better than last year. And this is a party game, a small, well, maybe also hidden role game with dice, and it's called Bang, the dice game. And in this game every player is going to play a role in the Wild West. One player is going to be the sheriff, one is going to be the deputy, and a few players are going to be outlaws, and there is one renegade as well. And each role, which are hidden besides the sheriff is known to everyone, has their own goal in the game. The sheriff he wants the outlaws and the renegades dead. The deputy just wants the sheriff to survive. The outlaws, they want the sheriff to die, and the renegade, well, the renegade, he wants to be the last man standing, meaning he has to stay alive long enough, up to the end of the game, but he wants the sheriff to be the second last alive, which is really hard to do, but really fun. So you're going to roll dice, Yahtzee style, so you can re-roll a few dice. If you roll, you can roll arrows, which gives you arrow tokens, and as soon as all the arrow tokens in the reserve are gone, well, the Indians attack and you get 1 damage for each arrow in front of you. You can shoot to the person next to you or to the person sitting 2 places away from you. And you also have a rattle gun in which you can shoot everybody. And you have beer, of course, or drink that can heal you. Well, it's a Western world, of course. Really fun, fast party game. Really great team, awesome player abilities. Each player also has a special character with special abilities. Really fun, I really like this one, and it's my number 28, Bang, the dice game. Okay, number 27 is, well, a really well-known game. It also raised 2 places against last year, so it was 29 last year. And I'm talking about a game which works for 2 to 7 players. Not everybody is happy about the 2-player version, but many people love to play it with 7 people. I prefer a normal game, 3-4 players, and I don't mind the 2-player version as well. And I'm talking about 7 Wonders. Now, 7 Wonders is probably the most well-known draft game, so that means in the beginning of a round you get 7 cards, you will choose one and pass the other 6 to the other player sitting next to you, and then you get yourself 6 new cards. You choose one, you give the others, and so on until each player has played all their cards. And you are trying to make this civilization, and you can build wonders, and it gives you points. You can get some military buildings, and you fight after each round. You just have to be sure you are stronger military than your neighbors. And well, that's kind of the game. Very easy, also quite easy to teach. It's great for a next step game. After a gateway game you can, well, you might go to 7 Wonders to try it out. It's not that hard to learn and to teach. I really like this game, like the team, plays really smooth. So 7 Wonders is my number 27. My number 26 was number 15 last year. That means, well, it dropped 11 places, but I still love this game. 26 is not a bad place to be. And it is, well, it's not a party game, it's a race game, but it is best in a group of 5 or 6 players. So in a nice environment which feels like a party a little bit, and the game feels like a party as well. I'm talking about Jamaica. Now in this game each player is this pirate who has their own ship, and you are trying to get around the island the fastest while finding treasures and gaining treasury and money, of course, and gold. And well, it's very interesting. So each round, when you are the start player, you roll 2 dice and you allocate them to a morning action and an evening action. And each player has few cards in their hand with a morning and an evening action. Now, depending on the choice of the starting player, you have a number that goes with the morning action of the card and one that goes with the evening action. How many times you can perform that action. And those actions can be that you can move ahead, or you have to move back sometimes, that you can get cannons, which is helpful to fight when you end on a spot with another player, you have to fight. You can get food because you have to pay food while on the sea, because well, you have to feed your crew, and you can find gold as well, which are worth points at the end of the game. Well, very interesting, very fast playing. Well, it can take a while, about an hour, so maybe a little bit longer sometimes, depending on how many players are playing and how the dice go. But this game is really fun and also very, very beautiful. This game is one of the most beautiful games. We just had Abyss in this list, which is awesome. This game has a completely different kind of artwork, but it is really, really beautiful. And if you haven't seen it yet, each player has these cards in their deck, and you can put these cards next to each other and it makes a complete panorama, which is also nice to see. My number 26, that's Jamaica. Yeah, man. My number 25 was a top 10 game last year. It was number 9 and it dropped now 16 places, but it is still a great game. It is, well, it's called a party game, but it's more an experience, a social thing, and I'm talking about Dixit. Now, Dixit is a game in which players have all these wonderful, beautiful cards. Well, this part of the list apparently is about artwork, but each player has these cards with gorgeous but weird artwork on it. And if it's your turn, you have to choose one of those cards and you have to give a clue about that card. But the clue cannot be too obvious, but still you want some people to guess it right. Because each other player has cards in their hand as well. They have to choose one of their cards, which has something to do with your clue as well. All the cards get shuffled, and after that they will be revealed and the other players have to guess which card was yours. Now, if they all guess your card, then you will score no points because your clue was too obvious. If no one guesses your card, you score no points either because your clue wasn't good enough. And if at least one but not all of them guess your card, then you score points for it. And if you're one of the other players and other players guess on your card, well, you get points for that as well. So it's a really cool game, really nice to get to know how people think in this game. The game looks beautiful. There is an expansion for it, or also standalone version, which is called Dixit Odyssey. It goes up to 12 people. I think 12 is a little bit too much. Played once with 10 or 12 people and it was a little bit too much. I think 6, 7 or 8 players is the best for this game. It is my number 25, really like this game, Dixit. My next game on number 24 is, well, the game that was number 42 last year. It is a solo game, meaning you can only play this on your own. It is a one-player game. It is a small box, it's a green box, and the game is called Friday, or Vrijdag as we call it here in Belgium, which means Friday. Well, okay, so you learn something. Friday in Dutch is Vrijdag. Alright, in this game you are Friday and you are trying to help Robinson to get off the island, because at the beginning of the game Robinson really is, well, a little pathetic and, well, he does not know how to survive. So you start with these cards in your deck which are not great, but you have to try to do some small missions with it, and those are other cards you have to draw. If that works, if you manage to complete a mission, you get that card into your deck, and the other side of the card, so you have a mission side and you have another side, the other side gives you more strength, more abilities that you can use. So it is kind of a deck building game, actually. Now, each round you get cards and cards, but the missions will get harder. You have to go to 3 phases, going from green to red, which is going from easy to difficult. And after that there are still 2 pirate ships on the shore which you have to fight, and if you manage to do that you win the game, but you have to manage that before, well, losing all your life points. This is strangely a game in which you can get better, because I realized after a few times I played it, I started to win some games, and I started to play in higher difficulty levels, because you can make it more hard, can make it harder to this game. But when I played it for, well, I didn't play it for a year, and I wanted to try this again, I got my butt kicked pretty hard again, and I have to learn it again. So, but this is really great game, really thematic, really fun to play, and for solo, if I'm alone, nobody wants to play with me, or there's no one to play with, I like to play Friday. It is my number 24. We stay at the solo games at my number 23. It raised a lot of places, but because it was in number 80 somewhere when last year, and I'm talking about Onirim. Now Onirim, as you can see, even smaller game than Friday. It's a card game in which, well, it is really strange theme, but in which you try to escape from your dreams, because you're having these bad dreams, and you do this by finding and trying to open doors in your dream, and those are cards in this deck that you are playing. And you have to collect sets to open a door, or you have to find clues, keys at the right moment to open these doors. But in the meanwhile there are these nightmare cards in the deck, which when you take them you have to remove cards from your hand, or you have to remove cards from the deck. You have to sacrifice a key or sacrifice a door you already opened. Really hard to win this game. Well, I think I'm about 50% win and loss rate, but it's really fun. It plays really fast, and it's a challenge, and I really like the size of this game. It's really easy. It sets up in a minute and you can play it immediately. I really like this game. It just beaten Friday. It is my number 23 on Onirim. My number 22 is completely new. It just got released in 2015, so it couldn't be there last year. And this is a party game, and that party game is at this moment the #1 party game on Board Game Geek. And of course, now you know it probably, I'm talking about Codenames, a game by Vlada Chvátil, of course, which is a crazy designer, because every game that he designs is completely different. So this year he came with Codenames, and in this game you are playing in 2 teams. One of the members of each team is the leader, and he has to give clues, these codes, to the other players, and they have to guess which words on the grid on the board. So there's a grid of 5 by 5 cards with all one word on it, and well, every team has these words that belong to them, and well, the leader wants his team to guess those cards. Now, how does he give clues? Very easy. He has to say 1 word as a clue and 1 number. The word, well, has something to do with the words he wants them to guess, and the number is how many words that are connected to that clue. So if he says, there's for example a tree and a frog on the board, and you want your team members to guess it, you might say the word green and 2. So there are 2 words that they need to find. If they guess correctly, you put a card of your team on top of it. If all your cards are gone, you win the game. If you correct wrong, your turn ends and the other team gets to their turn. If you guess a card of the other player's team, they even get their card on that word, of course, and they get points for that, of course. Now, there's also one card that you don't want anyone to guess in your team, because it's a spy card or an assassin card. Actually, if your team members guess that card, you immediately lose the game. Really simple concept, really easy to explain, but as for now, everyone who played it in my group of friends really liked it, and I like it as well. It is my number 23, no, my number 22, and it's Codenames. My number 21 is a game that was number 30 last year. I had the chance to play it a little bit more after my last year's list, and I think it was an honorable mention when I did my top 21. And it is a cooperative game with a traitor element to it, because someone can be a traitor, and of course I'm talking about Dead of Winter. Well, in Dead of Winter, players are in control of their tiny groups of people in this colony, in a world which is quite similar to the world of the series The Walking Dead. So there is a lot of things going on. Each player has their own objectives that they have to complete to win the game, but there's also a group objective which all players have to succeed in to win the game. So you have the group objective and your own. So sometimes you have to do something that isn't that great for the group to, well, make sure that you can fulfill your own objective, which of course can make you suspicious, because there can be a traitor in the game who has their own objective, and part one of that objective is to get the group's morale to 0 and to do something else depending on the card they've gotten. Now, the players can vote to exile a player. They can be right or wrong if it is a traitor or not. And the most special thing about this game probably are the crossroad cards. Now, this is a deck of cards, and at the beginning of each player's turn, another player takes one of the cards of the deck, and there is a trigger on it, so sometimes things happen depending on whether a player does something that's on the card. For example, a card can say when the active player moves to the police station, and then this happens. So if that happens, the player with the card stops the game and he reads the card, and then there is most of the time an option to choose between. Sometimes only the player who's active can choose between those two options. Sometimes there is a group vote, and that's really interesting. There also has been released an app for it now, for the crossroad cards, which is of course very easy. It is also spoken by the famous Eric Summer, and it hides so it gives you the two possibilities, but it hides you the result, so that gives an extra edge to the game. A really fun game, really thematic. It is a zombie game, but the zombies aren't that important. It's just a sitting around all the things going on, and it is really fun. It is called Dead of Winter, my number 21. Okay, so that was my number 30 until 21. I hope you liked this list, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. Feel free to comment below on my choices that I've made for my 30 to 21 list. You can already speculating on my number 1 or my top 3 or whatever. People who know me might guess it, but there have been some changes, to be honest. Some surprises for me as well, to be honest. I didn't expect some games to drop or to raise that much. And well, if you want to know what games are in the top 20, I advise you to, well, wait a few days, and then my next part of this list will be online. I thank you all for watching, and I invite you, of course, to visit me on Twitter. I'm at Vitruvian Gamer, and I would love to see you there. Thank you all, and I see you all in the future. Bye bye.